It was a cool moment.
Every time, I still get so nervous anytime I watch the race.
Like,
Moms get all sweaty.
like it's going to change.
Thank God it turns out the same way.
Yeah.
And I was so much better looking back then. Oh, that youthful exuberance I had. Oh, whatever happened. And you could tell that guy, my rival, was a little upset about losing that race. It's so funny because we actually are very good friends now. He's married to one of my best friends from America, Tracy Calkins, who is probably the greatest female swimmer in history. And they have 4 children, and I'm the godparent of one of their children. So that's a good figure, right?
So he's over it.
That's right, he got over it. We don't talk about it much.
But you play that every time you guys get together.
I don't play that video around. No, don't touch that. So I want to tell you a little bit about my Limu experience, and then I'll turn it over to Jessica. I started with the company 6 years ago. And I started off as a spokesperson. We only had one product 6 years ago. And the president of the company had heard about me and wanted me to represent the company. And fortunately, over the last 25 or 30 years, I have, and I'm not saying this in a bragging kind of way, I just feel like I built a reputation of trust that this summer, for example, I'm calling my 6th Olympic Games for NBC.
Awesome.
I just signed a contract to endorse it's a great charitable program by Citibank, and I'm with some of the best Olympians in history. So I feel like I still am out there. I'm still doing these kinds of things. I'm going to Seattle tomorrow to do the commentating on the NCAA championships for ESPN. My 24th year in a row I've done that. So these kinds of things I built, I think, as a reputation of trust. So I don't do anything unless I believe in it. It's that simple. I promise you, I will never ever do anything unless I totally believe in it. And that's what I told Gary when he called me. So he said, fine, no problem. So he sent me the product, and a month later, it changed my life. It really, literally changed my life. It didn't grow my arms back. It didn't cure cancer. It didn't. We don't make any medical claims, but I started feeling better. And I'll give you the perfect example for me. Because I travel so much, in the last 25 years, I travel 2 to 3 weeks a month for doing all kinds of things. And I constantly was getting flu bugs and colds and things like that just from being on a plane which is walking sickness factory. You know, if you know what I mean. If you're breathing that nasty air. And so it was nothing real major, but it was really annoying more than anything else. I have not had a sniffle in 6 years. In 6 years, I have not been sick. Now, I'm always knocking on wood when I do that. But it's literally when I started drinking Limu. And the way it built my immune system over time was incredible. And it's important to me because I still compete. I still swim master swimming, which is another word for old people swimming. Where I get to compete against people my own age, but there's millions and millions. Actually, there's about 4 million master swimmers in the world, and last year I broke 7 world records in my age group. So, and I came within 0.2 of a second of qualifying for our Olympic trials this year. I'm 53 years old, and the oldest male to ever qualify for the Olympic trials was 38. So I'm 53, and I'm thinking, man, it might be kind of cool to qualify for the Olympic trials. Wouldn't that be funny if I did it out there? But I'm not going. But even if I did qualify, the point was, it really changed my life. And then along the way, our other products came along, and I also started drinking those. I started drinking our healthy energy drink, Blue Frog, because a lot of what I need in the afternoons, especially in between workouts, sometimes I go 2 workouts, and I hit this lull in the afternoon, and it's a great natural way to pick me up. It has caffeine in it, which is what I need, but it also has so many other great B vitamins, and I'll let Jessica tell you a little bit more about that. But Blue Frog has really come along at a perfect time for me. And then last but not least is the Limu Lean. And for me, I don't really necessarily need to lose weight. And lean is more of a weight management system. You can actually gain weight if you want to on it. But to tell you the truth, you lose weight when you drink Lima. I mean, if you really want to gain weight, you can if you start doing all kinds of other things. But I drink and I go off 7 pounds without trying to. So, but the key for the Lima Lean for me was the proteins in it are so high quality. It really helped my strength in the water. And because I age, as we get older, we lose that strength. And I gained so much more strength in the weight room, which transferred to the water. And that's why I think I went so much faster this last fall. It was in October that I went so fast in the water. In fact, it was the fastest time I had been in 15 years in the 50 freestyle. So I think a lot of that, once again, is due to being on lean. So the products were a big part of it. And then flashback again to 6 years. I was a spokesperson for about a year, and then Gary came to me and said, I want to do something more. I want you to be more part of this team, more part of this family, instead of just showing up once or twice a year at our conventions and our conferences. So I said, let's think about it. I had a great job in Colorado. I was working at the Olympic Training Center, traveling all over the place for the Olympic Games. But he came up with a program called Rowdy's Kids. And what it is we get to travel. I get to travel all over the country like I'm doing now and get to immerse myself into the communities where our members live and work. So I get to kind of hang out with Jessica and be a part of what she's involved in on a daily basis. We're coming back here in June for the convention, or for a conference. And so when I do that, yes, I do parties like this, but I also, normally I come in, this was kind of spur of the moment, normally I'll come in and I'll go to a children's hospital, I'll go speak at some schools, and really just kind of, once again, immerse myself into the community. And it's been a really great program. Everything is free. The company pays for me to do this. And by the way, this was a question last night. I want to tell you this. I'm not a member. I don't sell Lima. I work for the corporate side of the company. So I don't have anything to do with selling it. I have no idea about uplines and downlines and all that stuff. I literally work for the company. So I can't sell it. My family can't sell it. I have no family members that are involved in the business, so it's our policy. So just that, I wanted to get that out there. But I love the idea of Rowdy's Kids, and so that's been a big part of what I do. Last but not least, I joined the company for 3 reasons, and I mentioned 2 of them. One was because of the product. 2 was because of Rowdy's Kids, and 3, and the most important reason why I joined, was the first year and a half that I got to travel around with the company as a spokesperson. I met the greatest people in the world. And I said this last night, if you believe in yourself and you believe in the product, I promise you won't fail. It takes a lot of hard work. I know Jessica works her butt off, but she's also really... literally and figuratively. But you know what? Not only does she look like this, but she's also really rich. And I mean, she's like, oh, if you need a loan, go to her. So she's but they're really, really nice people, and the leaders are great. And all the way down to people that are just starting off. It's unbelievable the kinds of people that I've met along the way. And that's the #1 reason why my wife and I decided to join this family called Lima. And don't believe for a second that you can't be successful. I'll give you one last reason. I started swimming when I was 17 years old. I was a junior in high school when I started. It's never too late to achieve your dreams. We all have dreams, y'all. Each and every one of us. Don't believe for a second that you don't have dreams. We all do. It doesn't matter whether you're 9 years old or 90. We have dreams to be somebody, to be successful. And for me, I started swimming because I failed in 5 other sports. I tried football, baseball, basketball, golf, and tennis, and I got cut in each one of them. But I never gave up. You can never give up. I know it's a big, huge cliche, but don't ever give up. So, with that, does anybody have any questions? Anything on the company or on? I'll let Jessica answer all the specific questions about the business. But anything about the Olympics? I'll be here afterwards. And I brought my medal with me too, so it's pretty cool if you've never seen an Olympic gold medal. And,
It didn't get to our side of the room.
Yeah.
We were bitter.
Everybody that tells me that they've touched it, you know, it's gold, right? So when the gold, and you can see it's beat up. I mean, I traveled with it for 28 years. You're going to see how it gets beat up, it gets dropped and everything. And the gold is starting to come off. But everybody tells me they touched it.
Yeah, all that.
I bite it every once in a while, just to make sure. Everybody tells me that they touch it, that the gold rubs off on it, brings them good luck. So make sure. I was at a party last week, and the lady was sitting there going like this. So feel free to have a little camera. Dude, I'm going to let you have this. Just for a little while. Don't even think That's my mom's, by the way. I won 3 gold medals. I gave one to my mom, one to my dad, and one to my coach. I gave them all away. And so my mom will hunt you down. So pass that around and enjoy it. And I've got pictures if you want a signed picture at the end you can put up on your dartboard or whatever. So with that, I thank you all again for coming tonight and sharing your evening with us. I'm going to turn it over to Jessica. And